Jared Donaldson, thanks very much for joining us on WeAreTennis.com.
Thank you.
I want to start by asking you to relate a story I found quite amusing. You said earlier this year about when Roger Federer invited you to do a practice session, but your mom wasn't going to let you go.
Yeah. It was when I was 17. It was during basically the off season. I think it was early November, and I was invited to go to Dubai to train with Roger. And I think, you know, when I first found out, or when my dad first presented me with the opportunity, my mom called and asked me about it. And I guess I had had a long day or something. I wasn't very enthusiastic on the phone, and my mom thought I didn't want to go, which wasn't the case. I really did want to go, but for whatever reason, she tried to read into my tone of voice and, thought that I didn't want to go. And then, you know, so she made this big deal about it, but I ended up going, of course. I mean, how could you not?
How could you not?
Exactly.
Does she still scold you? Does she still tell you, go clean your room, go do this, go do that?
Her big thing now is whenever I come to, or whenever she comes to California, she always tries to get me to buy a rug for my house.
Oh yeah?
Yes, that's her big thing, is buying rugs. So now I started off with no rugs in the house, and now I have, I think, 4. So.
You know, domestics and all that sort of stuff.
They definitely add a nice touch.
Yeah,
they add a nice touch.
Who's been tougher, your mom or your dad?
I mean, my dad has been more in the day-to-day type of role, but my mom is very, very positive. Maybe the most positive person in the world, but she occasionally gets very upset. Or not upset, but like she randomly gets aggressive or you know, flamboyant maybe. Because I remember when I was 11, or I was 10 actually, and just playing local tournaments, and I had gotten to 7 finals in a row, and I had lost all 7, so I had a horrible losing streak in finals. And finally I came home after I think the seventh tournament I lost in the finals, and she asked how I did, and my dad said, you know, he did well, he lost in the finals, and she said, that's it, I'm sick of hearing about how he's lost in the finals. Needless to say, the next tournament I played, I got to the finals and I won. So I think that's a good indication. Well, yeah. But she's very positive. She's not, you know, a hard ass or anything. She's very positive, but occasionally she has outbursts like that. So
it's actually very similar to a story Johnny McEnroe related, that his mother was always had this thing about you had to get 100%.
Yeah.
So if you got 90% in an exam in school, she wanted to know what happened to the other 5%. Similar sort of thing, I guess. But
yes,
you're still so young.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you really enjoy this life and the whole experience of what it is?
Yeah, I mean, I think certain aspects are more appealing to me than others. I really like the competing, the competition part. I mean, I don't really know if there's another sport or even another, you know, job or anything, any industry where it's so competitive and it's so very real, the competition. It's one-on-one, so you're competing against only one other person. I mean, obviously there are, you know, countless industries and countless sports that are competitive, but I don't know if there's one that's quite the same as tennis, because it's one-on-one. It's very public. It's easy to see who wins and who loses because of the score. You know what I mean? It's very mental. You just go through so many ups and downs because it's so close, the matches. I mean, very rarely do you have, I mean, most matches are decided by 4 percentage points in terms of total points won. So it's very close. So I really like that aspect of it, the competitive nature, the one-on-one. I like relying on myself and that sort of thing. So I like that. I mean, obviously, I think maybe the most difficult is probably the travel. I think for everybody, that's the most difficult, just because you know, a lot of flying. I mean, I'm probably going to fly over time zones.
All that sort of stuff.
So I think that's probably the most difficult, at least for me. But you know, you'd probably talk to 100 different players and get 100 different answers about what they like. I would assume it would be very similar. I bet a lot of them would like the competitive nature part of it, and then you know, everybody else seems to maybe not enjoy different things. I mean, that's just what was the hardest part for me is just the travel and stuff like that. But I really like competing, so.
You just said about the competitive side of it, and that you enjoy that, but is that the best part, or is there something else that is the best part of what you do in your life?
I think for a tennis aspect, I like that. I also like kind of the journey of or the pursuit of trying to achieve something, you know, great. Whether that's winning a tournament or being top 10 or just the pursuit of trying to achieve more and get better and get better. That's also, I think, really appealing to me, and it allows me to get up every morning and have a goal in mind. Whether, and I know those are more longer term goals, but you know, each day you can wake up and say, okay, I'm going to try to improve this or do this to then reach an end goal. So I think it's very, very real for me, and it's not as though I'm kind of stuck in a rut or anything. It's just, you know, each day it brings something new, and it brings about a new challenge.
Yeah, exactly. And just on the young aspect, how important is it for you to have the likes of Francis Tiafoe, Taylor Fritz, Rally Opelka, all a very similar age group, also out there at the same time, rather than you just being the individual, the one at that age, in this sort of an age bracket? Yeah,
I mean, I certainly think that that it's a wonderful time for American tennis. I think that you have a lot of established players playing some of the best tennis of their career. You know, if you look at Query, I think he's reached a new high. Isner's playing great, Sock's playing great. Just a lot of really great established players playing very well. But also you have a lot of younger guys playing very well also, you know. Myself and the players you mentioned, Taylor, Francis, Riley, Tommy. I mean, it seems like more than there's been in a long time. But you know, I think that we're all trying to get better, and we're all trying to improve, and we all want, you know, to be the best. And I think that's really, I think a unique thing when you have so many players, not only from the same country, but also I think around the world. You have a lot of young guys. Obviously, with the next gen finals, it's a very close race. Maybe except for Sasha, who's just, you know,
he's really stretched out.
He seems to be in another galaxy in the point total, but you know, I think just because he's kind of the clear front runner, I don't think that also means that, you know, he's kind of the what's that word?
Tell me what's that word?
Crowned, not crowned, but the anointed greatest player, you know, of all time next. I think we're all still very young, and we're all still trying to, I guess, have our games mature.
I've got two things more to ask you. One, this has been like a breakout year for you. If I asked you to pinpoint one absolute standout moment that you've experienced, what would that be?
This year?
Yes.
Man, I mean, I would probably say reaching the Cincinnati quarterfinals. I mean, I feel that's been my best result to date. You know, first Masters quarterfinals of a 1,000. I think that was, you know, a great result for me, and also I think that kind of made me believe a little bit more that I can put, you know, together maybe not just singular match victories, but a string of really good matches. But I think that I just have to make sure that I keep trying to improve and work really hard on my game, you know, on and off the court, because just because you have good results or one good result or a couple of good results doesn't guarantee that you're going to continue to have them. You have to make sure that you keep improving and making sure that you keep adding to your game, because if you don't go, if you're not going forward, you're going backwards basically, because other guys are getting better.
Okay, you've touched on goals. What is the primary goal for you finally?
I think that this question gets asked a lot, and rightfully so. I think it's really important. For me, I think that it's easy to kind of get lost in the shuffle, or you kind of sometimes see the forest, but not or you see the trees but not for the forest, where you get so wrapped in one singular goal. And I think the most obvious goal that people look for is ranking. And I almost think that that's a bad way to view things, because at the end of the day, you can't really control your ranking. You can go out and play a great match and still lose, and theoretically that will affect your ranking. But you also have to look at it like, wow, I played a great match. Why didn't I win, or what can I do better to then win that match? So for me, I always answer with, I want to improve my game and keep improving the things on and off the court, because I know that if I do that, over the long haul, my game will get better and my results will get better. Maybe not in the short term, but I think in the long term that will really help. So if I focus on improving, I think that I've improved my serve since the US Open. So I think that will allow me to have more consistent results and be a better player, and that will improve my ranking. So I think that's my goal.